up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming from my office. This is the boardroom at the company I work for, but it's technically my office. I wanted to just film in a different location. I love this area. We have a really nice view. I'm gonna show you guys like some views probably as I'm talking right now so you can get an idea, but it looks like it's really beautiful. Got both my phones. I feel very boss right now. Sorry if I am whispering. I didn't think anybody was gonna be in the office today, and there are 3 people here, and one of them is like right outside this boardroom, and I feel like I'm yelling, so hopefully you can hear me. Today's video is going to be about why I'm afraid to leave New York. Because I really am. I'm terrified. The only reason that I'm even thinking to do this video is because we are planning on moving at some point. We still have no idea where we're gonna move. There are 3 main reasons why I'm kind of afraid to leave New York. The first one being, this is a really big one, the lack of diversity. I'm so scared that if I move somewhere else, that they won't have as much diversity as New York. I am from North Carolina, so there really wasn't that much diversity. I mean, it was very black and white, quite literally. I feel like the South in general is pretty antiquated. Like everyone's very old school in their thinking. I just always felt alone. I went to a predominantly black high school, but a predominantly white college. Both times I felt completely alone. When I went to college, I was one of like a handful of black people at that college. It made me feel very insecure, and it made me feel lonely because nobody else was really into the same things I was or had the same kind of like upbringing I had. Everybody wanted to listen to country music or dress the same way. I was just a little different. I did start to fake it and like try to fit in because I didn't like feeling alone, but it just wasn't natural. And then when I was in high school, it was a different type of loneliness. This type of loneliness was coming from my own people. There were just more rules in the South for being black. Like I wasn't black enough, I wasn't cool enough, I didn't like the things that black people should like. When I started doing well is because I was acting white. You know, it just felt uncomfortable, and I know a lot of that has to do with high school in general, because high school is just, I really didn't enjoy it for tons of different reasons I'll talk about in a different video. Just growing up, I always felt so alone. It's not good to grow up in a place, no matter where you are, where there's only one kind of person or even 2 kinds of people. It's just not good for you as a person and good for growth. Being in a diverse town really allows you to expand your awareness. It really solidifies the fact that people are different than you and you become used to it. You're not so shocked, you know? I remember when I first moved here, I was still kind of in my North Carolina type personality. That quickly changed because everybody is so different here and they accept it and they like it. My style changed, and by that I mean it just got to the point I was dressing the way I wanted to and not the way I thought I had to, which is such a liberating feeling. I started wearing my hair natural, which I literally never thought I would do. Like I was like, I will always get my hair straightened. It is only pretty when it's straight, which is crazy. Back home, I got either one of 2 different responses to my hair. On the black side, it was put some heat on that, you can't go out looking like that, your hair looks wild. Basically, having natural hair was just seen as ugly from my black peers, which is really sad and confusing at the same time. Like, why would you shut me down for having my natural hair out? This should be praised, like black is beautiful, you know? On the white side, it would be like, what is that? Can I touch it? What's on your head? Like you have like an afro. It was just like ignorant, and it made me feel even uglier and more alone. I have dated so many different types of people, but whenever I was dating someone who was not the same race as me, I dealt with so much hate. In fact, every time we go to South Carolina, which is where Nick's family lives, they're not from there, but they live there right now. Nick is white and his whole family is obviously white. Every time we go out to dinner or we go to the grocery store, I'm getting so many looks of disapproval. It is disgusting. Usually from black families or black women, they're looking at me and I mean full on disapproval, shaking their head in shame, like, First of all, what am I doing wrong? We're not doing anything, we're not causing a scene. And then from the other side, I'm getting like mean looks from white people like, how are they talking to her? Like, what is it, like I'm passing enough that I'm not what they fear a black person would be, if that makes sense. I'm not like scaring them, so they're like, oh, she's like cool for a black girl. It's really disgusting actually, and I know I'm like hating on the South so much right now because I am from there and I lived there my whole life until I moved here. It's just not a fun feeling. Here in New York, there's every different type of race, ethnicity, so many different people from around the world come to live in New York, visit New York. I would be lying if I say I didn't experience racism here. Out of the 8 years I've lived here, I've only experienced racism that I know of that was like to my face 3 times. I lived in North Carolina until I was 24 and I experienced it almost every day. Sometimes I'll feel it from tourists out there, you tourists out there that are from the South or from somewhere where they just don't have diversity, they'll be the ones that are like looking at me or like grabbing their kids and pushing them back as if I'm gonna take your kid. Like, really? Do I look evil? It still happens, like, and this is another reason I'm afraid, because every time we leave New York, my point is proven every single time. Like I said, I've been wearing my hair natural. Nobody really cares. They're like, oh, your hair's pretty, you know? Whatever. I go somewhere like, oh my God, your hair. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I think it works. Like, as if I'm looking for their approval, just making a big fuss about it. It's like when people try really hard to make it known that they're okay with something because it's so different. In reality, all it does is just make it very obvious that they're uncomfortable and that it's new and they're not used to it because they're talking about it and causing so much attention to it. It's just hair. You have it too. Notice how I'm not making a big deal out of your hair. It's just really annoying. And obviously I'm scarred. You guys can tell, like, I'm clearly scarred from living in the South and dealing with that on a daily basis. I think anybody would be. I need diversity. I need it. I crave it. I can't live without it. That's my diversity rant. The second reason that I am terrified to move out of New York, boredom. I'm actually scared I'm going to be bored, like bored to tears. This is another one of those facts that's proven every time we leave New York to go on vacation. Well, not vacation. We choose our vacations very specifically, like Australia, Turks and Caicos. Like, we choose vacations that are fun and exciting, mainly for like weddings, I guess, like, because most of the times when we're going to another city that we wouldn't normally frequent, it's because of a wedding. Every time we do leave, we automatically want to come back after like a couple days. We're like, oh my God, we have to get back to New York. We are so bored. Like, so bored. The places that we visit may have one or two things that they're like known for, but it's not convenient and it's not something that you want to do all the time. Here in New York, we have Central Park, which is right outside, by the way. This office is beautiful. We have tons of museums, we have tons of food, Statue of Liberty, Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, beaches, literally everything. Like, everything you could possibly think of is here in New York. There's no way you could be bored unless you want to. If you just want to stay in your apartment and hang out, you can do that as well. That's the point. There's options, and those options give you freedom, which is something we all want. I am easily bored and I can't just be in a town where nothing goes on. Nick is from Vermont and we used to talk about it, and he was like homesick for a while. So he's like, yeah, we should move to Vermont. Now he's like, I don't know why I said that, I'm sorry. Like, I do not want to move to Vermont. We'd be bored. This is our home. This is like where it's at. The way I navigate the city, the way Nick navigates the city, this is our city. I'll get homesick every now and then and I want to go to Raleigh, North Carolina. It's quiet, I want some fresh air. I miss some of the food I used to eat down there. I don't know, after like 3 days, 4 days, I'm just like, okay, I got what I needed. Like, I'm ready to go. Even Miami, we went last year for my birthday. Yeah, they have the beach, but it rains almost every day. I was so annoyed by that. If you weren't in the city where restaurants were, then anywhere outside of that was just really boring. I love the fact that you can go outside and walk somewhere or take the train somewhere, order an Uber or a Lyft somewhere. Everything's just so convenient. I love the freedom. If I need to take a walk and I'm bored inside the apartment, I can take a walk down the street and get to a bar, or I can go to a coffee shop, or I can go to a mini park. Just taking a walk and being able to put my headphones in and just get out and like unwind for a second. Simply just going on our roof at night. Like, I just find that so amazing. We can just go on our rooftop, look at this beautiful skyline. I can see the Empire State Building. Guys, what? New York is still so cool to me, and I've lived here for so long. There's just so much opportunity here. It just checks every box, aside from bigger living quarters. Everything is so small here unless you pay like $6,000 or more, which is crazy. You might as well buy a house at that point. The last and third reason I am terrified to leave New York, the lack of good food. Anybody who lives here in New York and has lived here for a while understands what I'm talking about when I say that. We have some of the best food in this city. I mean, every cuisine you could possibly think of, and authentic dishes, world-renowned chefs that have their restaurants here. I'm talking to you, John George. It's just so much good food. I'm gonna use South Carolina, so hopefully Nick's parents aren't watching, so they're like, this girl is so bougie. There's a place we went to. I just ordered a turkey club because everything else on the menu just sounded really basic and boring. I get this turkey club. It comes with American cheese. They had no other options. I like provolone on turkey clubs, but they didn't even have an option for that. It was just American and that's it. The bread wasn't toasted. It was on like some Wonder Bread. When you go out to eat at a restaurant, I'm not going so I can get things that I can eat at home. I want something that's like good quality, good flavors, something that was prepared with love. Everything's like beer battered, which is disgusting. Like, why is everything in beer? I'm telling you, once you've tasted good food, you just can't go back. It is so hard to go back. You guys have seen how many videos I've done on food on my channel. I mean, last week was about food. Sushi, oh my God. Bond Street. If you're watching Bond Street, send me free sushi. I will be your biggest influencer. I will promote you on my channel every day. And I talk to other people that lived here. They're like, yeah, I'm the same way. It's not bougie. Like, you just know good food. That's like what New York is. I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I was feeling very self-conscious about it. Like, wow, I'm coming off so mean. Like, I'm being so bitchy, but no, I just know good food. Like what you like. You don't have to like what I like. I am that person that when I go to restaurants and I have something really good, I'm like, can I have the recipe? What tomatoes did you use in this? How did you make this sauce? Did you roast these vegetables? For the most part, they will give me the recipe and they're like, sure, like if you want to make it, go for it. Just so many good options. I'm so hungry too. It's like lunchtime. I need to order food. I think I'm gonna order sushi, probably. If I do, I'll show you guys a picture. So those are the main reasons I'm afraid to leave New York. I use the term afraid because it is a fear. I can't go back to not having the freedom, just options. I'm very used to it. Just the things that I'm trying to do with my channel, with my blog, with my life, it needs to be in a place that I have the opportunity to make connections. I've made so many connections here. I've met so many amazing people. The owner of this building that I'm in, Mr. Stern, he also owns part of the business school of NYU. I've taken the elevator with him multiple times. I've had conversations with him. I've brushed shoulders with multiple billionaires. I work for one. There's so much opportunity here. I can't even find myself leaving and not taking advantage of it as long as I can. I used to always say I didn't want to raise kids in the city because I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I see these women with their strollers on the subway, like that's crazy. I plan on being very rich soon. And I'm just gonna speak that into existence now. Say it with me, we're gonna be rich. It's gonna happen, guys. You actually have to believe it's gonna happen for it to happen, okay? And if you saw where I came from and how I grew up, you would see that manifestation and working hard at things is where it's at. That's how you get it. Every time I tell people like where I came from, they're just like, what? Maybe I'll tell you guys more about that at some point, maybe on like a different channel. I've been thinking about that, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I think I could raise kids here, or at least somewhere near, so that we come into the city every weekend. We own a building here, because that is one of Nick and I's plans, to buy a building in Brooklyn. We have plans, we have so many plans. For whatever reason, figuring out where we're gonna live seems to be the hardest plan to actually solidify. How could you not want to be here? Look at this view. Do you see this view right now? And I get to look at it every day. It's truly a blessing. It really is. If you made it up this far, comment the plane emoji and also where you live right now, or where you want to live, or both. But I want to know. I'm going to Vermont this week and we're going to be at a wedding this Saturday. So I'm going to try to film this trip and show you guys some nature and all that good stuff. Stay tuned for that video next week. I'll see you guys next time.